Gran Turismo 7 has been confusing everyone on the PlayStation 5 Pro, and I know the reason why. To understand, you need to know about the history of Gran Turismo. Gran Turismo has been the game on PlayStation that has pushed the boundaries over 25 years of graphics, of what it means to be a sim racing title, of physics, of handling, basically at the cutting edge. When Gran Turismo 2 came out, it was an unbelievable game. Gran Turismo 3 graphics, if you remember, just blew everyone's mind. Gran Turismo 4, the amount of sheer content that was in the game was insane. GT5 again, pushing on that graphics front. GT6 was incredible, squeezing absolutely everything out of an aging PS3. It was like magic on the PS3 in some ways. GT Sport really was cutting edge of online racing. To have Lewis Hamilton involved, the F1 World Champion on GT, was incredible. And then GT7, and my views on GT7 are clear on this channel, so I don't need to go all over that again. And Kazunori Yamauchi, who's the creator of Gran Turismo, he's been at the forefront of all this, pushing the boundaries. We associate PlayStation with Gran Turismo. We associate the best of PlayStation with Gran Turismo. We associate what the PlayStation can do with Gran Turismo. And this is where a lot of the confusion comes from. Not all the confusion, but some of it. Some of the confusion is different. I'm going to get into it. So I saw a video today from Super GT saying that in some cases the PS5 Pro version of GT7 looks better than the PS5 version. Small differences, but it looks better. And I think this is confusing people because I've compared the PS5 Pro footage next to the PS5 footage, and as far as I can tell, it is identical. That's my opinion. In fact, don't just believe me, choose for yourself. On the left-hand side, PS5, me driving. On the right-hand side, PS5 Pro. Let me know in the comments if you can spot any differences here. And then there's all the confusion about ray tracing I'm going to get in on. So if you want to know the facts, here are the facts. There is no official patch for Gran Turismo 7 at the moment. There is no upgrade for Gran Turismo officially through a patch. That means it doesn't have in-race ray tracing. But confusingly, it does have already ray tracing in replays. This is a replay here shot on the original PS5, which has a ray tracing mode. And this gets into a whole other confusion about racing games where they use footage. If you look at the update videos for Gran Turismo 7, it shows an almost surreal kind of graphics quality. And people, we just don't understand. Look here, this is the menu system for graphics in Gran Turismo 7. Prioritize frame rate, prioritize ray tracing. Now, if you select prioritize ray tracing, this doesn't affect your experience in-game at 60 frames a second at all. All you get is the menus go down to 30 frames a second, even on the PS5 Pro, which I'm on right now. And also your replays go down to 30 frames a second, but your in-race experience is the same. And I'm pretty knowledgeable about Gran Turismo 7. This channel is built on Gran Turismo 7. I've made a name for myself exploring Gran Turismo 7, all of the features that come in every single update. And even I'm like, that is too confusing. It needs to say, select this option, you will get 30 frames a second in replay mode with ray tracing, but your race won't be changed. Anyway, the other thing that's confusing about all this is sometimes, and I've seen it on PSVR 2, there are updates made to Gran Turismo 7 that are either like bundled in with other patches or not explained. So on PSVR 2, I feel like the graphical quality, the level of detail was improved quite early on. There was a patch that improved the PSVR 2 footage that was never fully explained. The other thing is Gran Turismo 7 don't explain what they're doing in patches anyway. So when they completely overhauled the handling, they didn't say anything. By the way, on the left-hand side here, just so you can see, this is frame rate mode on the PS5 Pro, and on the right-hand side, it's ray tracing mode. Again, I'm not going to tell you what you should think. I'm not going to tell you this or that. You just look at the footage for yourself and you let me know in the comments, do you see a difference? I'm not getting into a thing on this video really, whether the PS5 Pro is worth it or not. I've made quite a few videos on that. My view is basically, if you have a PS5, don't worry about it unless you want to do the open world racing games where it does make a difference, but that's completely up to you. But when they updated the handling, they didn't explain anywhere what they were actually trying to do, other than ruining a lot of people's teams. And even when I spoke to the head of sim racing at Logitech, if you saw my interview, he was like, yeah, we don't really know what they're trying to do, but this is my guess. So Gran Turismo don't explain it. Now, when before they were at the cutting edge, like you've seen these clips, it didn't matter because they were at the cutting edge. But these days, the F1 World Champion Max Verstappen is on iRacing. He's not on Gran Turismo. Other games have better graphics. Gran Turismo is no longer the pinnacle of sim racing. You know, that's a fact. You have games like iRacing that cost a lot more, run on much more powerful machines, that are much closer to the pinnacle, arguably the pinnacle today of what sim racing is. That's okay. We don't need Gran Turismo to be like iRacing. We don't need it to be expensive. We want it to be accessible. We want it to be playable on a controller and everything like that. You know, we even want it to be available on PS4 so as many people as possible can experience the fun of the game. But because of that, what is Gran Turismo's purpose right now? Because the PS5 has launched without Gran Turismo 7 being the system seller. Not even that. Without Gran Turismo 7 even having an update for it. Now remember, when PSVR 2 launched, Gran Turismo 7 was there. And Gran Turismo 7 is still the best reason to get a PSVR 2. And I can tell you that honestly, because I bought a PSVR 2 with my own money, and I've spent so much money on PSVR 2 games, and a lot of them are absolute rubbish. And Gran Turismo 7 is a very good experience, and it's unbelievable how essentially every car is drivable at every track in the game in VR. That's unbelievable. Obviously, separate question that they haven't really updated it since they haven't made any feature updates that we want to see. But they're not here for the PS5 Pro. By the way, if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe. I appreciate it so much. You're part of the KCR army. See here the liveries. Search KCR and GT7 if you want to drive them as well. But they're not at the forefront of the PS5 Pro. And, you know, even Forza is like relentlessly marching on with updates. Got the big NASCAR update this week. They've been updating graphics as well, adding features that definitely should have been in at launch, but they've been building them from the ground up in patches, maybe. I don't know. But Gran Turismo 7 now, people want more, and there's a lot of disquiet. People want the new GT3 cars. People don't want to drive a Bugatti VGT. I'm pretty sure the numbers will show that. The online community is getting a little bit frustrated at daily race combinations. We want to have more championships. We don't want the championships for normal people like you and me to be handicapped by them running an esports tournament for the very best drivers in the world, who are incredible drivers. But even those drivers, I think, would love to know that there's a championship going on for everyone else. So it's confusing. And that's why we're seeing people make videos saying, oh, this is what Gran Turismo 7 looks like on PS5 Pro, when in fact, it turns out I don't think there are any differences. And that's why I made my first video, because I wanted to see, hang on, are there any differences or not? Is there a hidden patch or not? And in my view, there isn't, apart from the caveat of 4K 120 locked. And remember, I've made a video on Gran Turismo 7 in 120Hz, really exploring that, and I will be updating that video with what we have in here. So there is already a behind the scenes update that hasn't come with a patch. So you just never know with Gran Turismo 7. I want to hear your thoughts in the comments. Let me know what you think, and make sure you watch this other video as well. That's going to explain the current situation.